Now, the agency that coordinates the European response to illegal drug trafficking says too many shipments of cocaine are getting through because of a shortage of boats to intercept them. The Maritime Analysis and Operations Centre, which is a collaboration between 8 EU member states and the UK, says as many as 100 suspect ships weren't stopped or searched last year.
Imagine a criminal organization so sophisticated that it operated in plain sight for decades, moving billions of dollars, corrupting officials at the highest levels, and staying one step ahead of law enforcement across multiple continents. Now imagine that this wasn't the work of a single mastermind, but a decentralized network so complex that even when authorities arrested hundreds of its members, the organization simply adapted and continued operating as if nothing had happened. This is the true story of the 'Ndrangheta, the Italian mafia that became the world's most powerful crime syndicate, and why police around the globe still struggle to dismantle it today. While most people have heard of the Sicilian mafia or seen movies about organized crime families, few understand that the real power in the criminal underworld shifted long ago to a group that prefers to operate in the shadows. The 'Ndrangheta, pronounced Ndrangheta, originated in the poverty-stricken region of Calabria in southern Italy during the late 19th century. Unlike their more famous Sicilian counterparts, the 'Ndrangheta built their empire on a principle that would make them virtually indestructible family ties based on blood, not just loyalty. The structure of the 'Ndrangheta is what makes it so resilient. The organization consists of approximately 150 separate clans, called Ndran, each operating with significant autonomy while maintaining connections to the larger network. These clans are bound together by actual family relationships, with membership passed down through bloodlines. This means that unlike traditional mafia organizations, where betrayal might come from ambitious underlings, the 'Ndrangheta's core membership is bound by ties that are extraordinarily difficult for law enforcement to penetrate. You cannot simply infiltrate a family you were not born into. But what transformed the 'Ndrangheta from a regional criminal organization into a global powerhouse was their strategic move into the international cocaine trade in the 1980s. While other mafia groups fought territorial wars and attracted media attention, the 'Ndrangheta quietly established themselves as the primary European distributor for South American cocaine cartels. Today, experts estimate that the organization controls approximately 80% of the cocaine entering Europe from South America, generating annual revenues estimated at over 50 billion euros, making them wealthier than many legitimate multinational corporations. The genius of their operation lies in their control of the Italian port of Gioia Tauro, one of the largest shipping container ports in the Mediterranean. Located in Calabria, this port handles millions of containers annually, and the 'Ndrangheta has infiltrated its operations so thoroughly that tracking every shipment becomes an impossible task for authorities. Cocaine from Colombia and other South American countries arrives hidden in legitimate cargo shipments, and the organization's port workers ensure these containers reach their intended destinations without detection. The sheer volume of legitimate trade flowing through the port provides perfect cover for their illegal operations. What makes the 'Ndrangheta particularly difficult to combat is their sophisticated approach to money laundering and legitimate business infiltration. The organization has invested their drug profits into restaurants, construction companies, real estate developments, waste management firms, and even renewable energy projects across Europe and beyond. In Germany alone, authorities have identified over 800 businesses with suspected 'Ndrangheta connections. These legitimate enterprises serve multiple purposes. They launder drug money, provide employment for family members, and give the organization influence over local economies and politics. The political corruption aspect cannot be overstated. The 'Ndrangheta has systematically corrupted officials at municipal, regional, and even national levels in Italy. In 2014, the entire town council of San Luca, considered the spiritual home of the 'Ndrangheta, was dissolved by the Italian government due to mafia infiltration. But this was not an isolated incident. Dozens of Italian municipalities have been dissolved over the past 2 decades due to 'Ndrangheta control. The organization uses a combination of bribery, intimidation, and strategic political alliances to ensure friendly officials occupy key positions, making prosecutions extremely difficult. One of the most significant attempts to break the 'Ndrangheta came in December 2019, when Italian police launched one of the largest anti-mafia operations in history, known as Operation Ranasita Scott. Authorities arrested 330 4 suspected members and associates across multiple countries in a coordinated raid. The investigation had taken years and involved wiretaps, surveillance, and cooperation between Italian authorities and law enforcement agencies in Germany, Switzerland, and other nations. Prosecutors presented evidence of murder, extortion, drug trafficking, money laundering, and corruption involving businessmen, lawyers, accountants, and politicians. The charges detailed how the organization had evolved from traditional protection rackets into a sophisticated global network. Evidence showed Ndrangheta clans operating in Germany's restaurant industry, Australian construction projects, and Canadian financial systems. The scale of the operation was staggering, with prosecutors presenting thousands of intercepted communications and financial transactions. For a moment, it seemed like authorities had struck a decisive blow against the organization. But here is where the story takes its most frustrating turn for law enforcement. Despite the arrests and convictions that followed, the Ndrangheta barely slowed down. The family-based structure meant that for every member arrested, relatives stepped in to continue operations. The decentralized nature of the organization meant that other clans simply absorbed the business of those temporarily disrupted. Within months, intelligence reports indicated the cocaine pipeline was flowing as freely as ever, and the organization's legitimate business operations continued without significant interruption. This resilience stems from what experts call the Ndrangheta's cultural embedding in Calabrian society. In many small towns and villages, the organization is not seen as separate from the community, but as part of its fabric. They provide jobs when legitimate employment is scarce, offer financial help to struggling families, and position themselves as protectors of local interests against outside interference. This creates a code of silence, or omerta, that makes witnesses and informants extremely rare. Even victims of Ndrangheta violence often refuse to cooperate with police, either from fear or from a belief that the organization is a necessary evil in their economic ecosystem. The international expansion of the Ndrangheta presents additional challenges for law enforcement. The organization has established bases in Germany, where an estimated 7,000 members and associates operate across the country. They control restaurants that serve as meeting places and money laundering operations while maintaining their family connections to Calabria. In Australia, particularly around Sydney and Melbourne, Ndrangheta clans have invested heavily in construction and hospitality. Canadian authorities have identified significant Ndrangheta presence in Ontario, where they have infiltrated waste management and construction industries. This global reach means that even effective policing in one country barely impacts their overall operations. Technology has also played into the Ndrangheta's hands. While law enforcement has become more sophisticated in surveillance and digital forensics, the organization has adapted by using encrypted communications, conducting business through seemingly legitimate companies, and maintaining their most sensitive communications through old-fashioned face-to-face meetings in remote Calabrian villages. They have learned from the mistakes of other criminal organizations and developed counter-surveillance techniques that make electronic monitoring extremely difficult. The economic power of the Ndrangheta creates another layer of protection. With annual revenues exceeding the GDP of many small nations, they can afford the best lawyers, the most sophisticated financial advisors, and the most advanced security measures. They can outlast investigations that take years and cost millions, knowing that they have the resources to fight legal battles indefinitely. This financial might also allows them to corrupt officials not just in Italy, but anywhere their operations extend, creating a network of protection that spans continents. So why can police never truly break this network? The answer lies in the convergence of multiple factors that create a nearly perfect criminal organization. Blood-based membership prevents infiltration. Decentralized structure prevents single-point failures. Massive financial resources provide legal protection and corruption capabilities. Cultural embedding in home regions ensures silence and new recruits. Global reach means no single nation can effectively combat them. And perhaps most importantly, their infiltration of legitimate business means that attacking the organization requires dismantling parts of the legal economy, something governments are reluctant to do. The Ndrangheta represents evolution in organized crime, a model that learned from the mistakes of more traditional mafia organizations that attracted too much attention or relied too heavily on violence. They have created something that operates like a shadow government and multinational corporation simultaneously, adapting to law enforcement pressure while never losing sight of their ultimate goal: profit and power. If this story of the world's most resilient crime network has fascinated you, then you need to stay with this channel. We dive deep into true crime stories that reveal the real workings of criminal organizations, the investigations that tried to stop them, and the reasons why some criminals stay ahead of justice. Hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss our next investigation. Give this video a thumbs up to help others discover these incredible true stories, and let us know in the comments what crime organization or unsolved case you want us to cover next. The criminal underworld has more secrets to reveal, and we are just getting started bringing them to light.